Imagine you're on a small boat, far from land. It's the middle of the night. No city lights, no moon. Just black water in every direction. Then the ocean turns white. Not blue sparks in the waves, not foam. The whole sea, glowing like snow under your feet. For centuries, sailors said this happened. Scientists weren't sure. Then satellites saw it too. A milky sea near Java. Here's the thing. This isn't normal bioluminescence. You've probably seen videos where a wave crashes and for half a second the water flashes electric blue. That's real, but it's quick. Some of those flashes last about 1/10 of a second. A milky sea is different. It can glow smoothly, quietly, for nights, sometimes for weeks. In 2019, south of Java, 2 weather satellites picked up a pale patch of light. Those satellites were Suomi NPP and NOAA 20. It was in the Indian Ocean, and it wasn't small. The glowing area covered about 100,000 square kilometers. That's roughly the size of Iceland. Imagine an entire country-sized patch of ocean shining in the dark. Almost nobody on Earth was close enough to see it. From space, it looked faint. From the surface, if you were inside it, it could look like the sea had turned into snow. So the question wasn't just, what is that light? It was, is anyone actually inside it? In 2019, the answer was yes. One boat sailed straight through it. The boat was a yacht called Ganesha. On the night of August 2nd, 2019, it was sailing south of Java. Johan Lemons and Naomi McKinnon were on board. They weren't hunting a mystery, they were part of a research mission. They were just crossing open water. Then, the ocean around them started to glow. Not in little bursts, not just behind the boat, around them, under them, out toward the horizon. The logbook later described it in one line that honestly sounds unreal. It gives the impression of sailing on snow. Now picture that for a second. You're not watching a documentary. You're not looking at a computer model. You're standing on a deck at night. The ocean below you looks like a white field. And here's what made it so important. Ganesha's route lined up with the satellite signal. That almost never happens. Milky Seas usually appear far from shore, at night, in places where no research ship is waiting. So scientists often have only one side of the story, old reports from sailors or faint signals from orbit. This time, they had both. From below, people on a boat writing down what they saw. From above, Suomi NPP and NOAA 20 looking down at the same glowing patch of ocean. And that patch stayed visible for at least 45 nights. Not 45 seconds, not one strange evening. A month and a half of pale light moving through the Indian Ocean. That's the part that changes the mood of the story. A normal flash of ocean light is like a camera flash. Blink and it's gone. This was more like someone had left a dim lamp on under the sea, night after night. But the Java event wasn't alone. Stephen D. Miller and his team searched night satellite data from 2012 to 2021. They found 12 possible Milky Sea events that passed their checks. Not clouds, not city lights, not ships, not moonlight bouncing off the water. Actual light coming from the ocean. And the same pattern kept pointing to certain parts of the world. The Indian Ocean, the waters near Java, and the Banda Sea. Places wide enough and remote enough for something massive to happen with almost no witnesses. And even before that, there was the SS Lima. On January 25, 1995, that ship reported a Milky Sea in the northwest Indian Ocean. Later, scientists matched it to satellite data from the Defense Meteorological Satellite Program. That glowing area was about 15,400 square kilometers. It was a patch of ocean bigger than Connecticut. It showed up for 3 nights. So how do you even see something that faint from space? The answer is a sensor called VIIRS, especially its day-night band. Think of it like a night camera trying to spot a candle on a dark football field. Now put that football field on a moving planet. Add clouds, add moonlight, add the glow of the atmosphere itself. That's what the satellites are fighting. Every night they're trying to separate real ocean light from everything else that can fool the camera. And still, they saw it. Which leads to the real mystery. If the ocean can glow for weeks across an area the size of a country, what on earth is actually making the light? Turns out the leading suspect is tiny, not a glowing monster, not a chemical spill, not some crack in the ocean floor, bacteria. The name scientists keep coming back to is Vibrio harveyi. It's a light-producing bacterium that can live with organic material in the sea. One bacterium doesn't matter much. A handful doesn't either. But when the crowd gets big enough, they can switch on together. And the number is absurd, about 100 million cells in a single milliliter of water. That's a few drops holding more glowing cells than there are people in most countries. Yeah, a few drops. Scientists call this quorum sensing, but you don't need the term. Think of it like a stadium in the dark. One phone flashlight is nothing. 10 are cute. But if the whole stadium turns on its lights at the same time, suddenly you can see it from far away. That's one idea for what a milky sea is. A vast bacterial crowd lighting up together. But hold on, because this is where it gets even bigger. For a long time, you might imagine the light as a thin film on the surface, like oil, but glowing. The newer idea is stranger. Some scientists think the ocean may create a kind of natural flask. This would be a trapped body of water where bacteria, algae, and food stay together. They stay together long enough for the glow to build. Not just a shiny skin on top, a whole layer of the sea. Researchers have even suggested that future ships should sample the water down to at least 30 meters. That's about the height of a 10-story building, but straight down into glowing ocean water. And here's the honest part. Scientists know milky seas are real. They know bacteria are the strongest suspect, but they still don't know exactly what starts them. They don't know why they grow so huge. They don't know whether they're a sign of a healthy ocean or an ocean under stress. And that changes what this story is. At first, it sounds like an old sailor's legend. Then, it becomes a satellite mystery. But now, it may be something much larger. A signal from the ocean that we've only just learned how to notice. In 2025, researchers at Colorado State University reported a new database of Milky Sea sightings. It goes back about 400 years, all the way to 1600. Think about that. Generations of sailors saw the same ghostly ocean, wrote it down, and then moved on. Now, those old reports can be compared with satellites, and the pattern isn't random. Nearly 60% of known cases cluster around the northwest Indian Ocean near Somalia and Socotra. The same waters, again and again. So maybe Milky Seas aren't just rare tricks of light. Maybe they're tied to bigger changes in the ocean and the air above it. That's the uncomfortable beauty of this phenomenon. We can now see it from space. We can map it, we can chase it, but we still can't read it. A country-sized glow in the dark ocean might be a sign of life doing something extraordinary, or it might be a warning. And the next time the sea turns white, the first witness may not be a sailor at all. It may be a satellite.